Hey, today I want to talk about how to invest in property and buy property without using any mortgage or deposit using something called a lease option. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you click the button now and subscribe and get all the notifications. So there are a lot of people talking about buying houses without using money. Is it possible? The answer is yes, but you have to do it in such a way that to make sure it's done legally. Lease options is something that I pioneered in 3 countries, here in the United Kingdom, in the Netherlands, and also in Malaysia. And there are a lot of misunderstanding about what lease options are about as well. So I'm going to just give you 5 essential things that you need to follow in order to do a successful lease option deal. So number 1 is the contact. So lease options is all about contract negotiation to make sure the deal is win-win. And you can't negotiate really with anybody with a third party involved. So you need to have the direct contact with the seller. So you need to be able to find sellers who are looking to sell the property. And number 2 is circumstances. You need to understand the seller's situation, why the seller is putting the property on the market, why they want to sell. Is actually selling the property on the market the best solution? And I'll give you an example. If someone actually has very little or no equity in the property and they're in an urgent situation to sell the house, then leaving on the market through an estate agent is probably a very not so clever thing to do, because agents always inflate the price of the property and they don't have the seller's urgency taken into consideration. So we need to understand the seller's circumstances. Number 3, we need to customize a strategy, and in this case it's a lease option strategy that would solve the seller's problems after we've understood the seller's circumstances. So if the seller can't sell the property fast enough, let's say for example the seller has lost his job or her job, then we can take over the seller's mortgage payment. But in return, we get an option to buy the house for a duration of time, probably 5, 10 or 15 years. And during that period, we look after all the obligations associated with property, like paying the seller's mortgage or the maintenance and the upkeep of the property. And also we can actually structure a deal in such a way that we can give some of the future profit back to the owner. And let's say we've got an option to buy the house for 200,000, and now 5 years on the property has doubled in value, is now 400,000. That means when I exercise my option to buy the house, I would be making 200,000. And would it be fair to give some of that profit back to the original owner? And that's how these option deals should be structured to make it win-win. And then the 4th part is the communication. Most sellers have never ever heard of lease options. In fact, most property investors have never even heard of it. And that's why I travel around the world. I've taught thousands and thousands of property investors how to use lease options as a tool, as an instrument to acquire property deals. So for a normal owner of a property, the likelihood is that they never had heard of property lease options. And so it is down to you to communicate in such a way that it makes sense to them, and so that they can see the benefits of it without confusing them. And that's the saying that if you confuse them, you will lose them. And finally, lease options is all about contracts, because it's about contract negotiation. All the terms, everything that you've agreed will go into the contract, and the lawyer will make sure that the whole contract is notarized, it's legalized. We were talking about contracts. I actually spent years and years of my life in different countries developing the contract system that have stood the test of time, and also it's been proven legal in the law of court. And so that's pretty much the 5 things that you need to know about lease options: the contact, the circumstances, to customize, to communicate, and also the contracts. And I hope you find it useful. If you want more videos about property investing, how to negotiate deals, how to find property deals, and business in general, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click onto the button below, and I'll see you very soon.